Hey friends, so today we're going to jump right in here. We're going to redo what I did before. I made a video about 5 years ago called Colonial Homes. This is what we're going to call it the Farmhouse Watercolor. It's the same thing. But I'm breaking this down into simpler shapes because that video is way too confusing. So if you look here, I drew a rectangle, I drew a triangle on top of it, and I drew two equal sized squares on the other side. And then for the roof, I drew a trapezoid. So do you see those shapes? Pause it right here and look at those shapes. All right, so to draw the porch is probably the hardest part. Notice how I draw two equal sized trapezoids. And then we'll put the door in the middle. I did not put the door in the middle. Later on, you'll see how I have to fix the door. We'll come back to that door. The door haunts me. But let's move on. So now I'm taking a ruler after I kind of just roughly drew those shapes, and I'm straightening them all out, making sure that those lines are nice and straight. Everything lines up. And then here I'm roughing in some windows. What roughing in means is like I just lightly draw it. I lightly draw it, so if I mess up, I can erase it. And then I'm adding some more windows. Add a little chimney. It's a little square with a shoebox lid on top. And then here comes the hard part. I'm gonna draw the post. You see how I draw two lines coming from the top all the way to the bottom of that trapezoid at the corners? So that makes my first two posts. And then I wanna draw the handrails. So I come over right here and I draw two more lines just like that. And again, try to keep them equally spaced. I do that and then look at my door. The door's not in the middle. Ugh. All right, next I'm going to draw the handrails themselves. I did 3 pickets, so 2 lines, 6 times to make equal sized pickets. Then up here, add a little bit more detail on my roof, kind of make it look 3D, add an edge to it. It's hard to see. And then I'm going to use some W's to make the shingles. Kind of match, or they don't match up. And then using my ruler, lining it up at the bottom of the windows, making sure each line is going straight across the right way. And then adding some bottoms to those windows. If you want to do some flower beds, that would be nice. And then we'll add some steps. So the steps, I'm about to show you more detail in just a second. The steps are just trapezoids on top of trapezoids. If you don't know what a trapezoid shape is, look it up. But there's a trapezoid, draw 2 lines coming down from the bottom, draw a trapezoid that's bigger, draw 2 lines coming down from the bottom, and just repeat that over and over again. That's how you get your steps. So there's 3 simple steps. Add a little railing, and voila, you got yourself some stairs. All right, I'm gonna erase that door, but do I fix it? Nope. I draw it the same way as I did. Like I don't see that it's crooked. Next, I'm gonna add some ornate fixtures around the house. Add some thickness to the roof so it can have some shingles. Add a fascia board on the front of the house right there. That'd probably be a 2x6. I used to work construction, build houses. That's definitely 2x6. Then again, I want to draw some shingles. They're just U's. I'm going to add more detail to a door that I'm going to erase later. So go figure. And then I want to add some window casings. So the window casings are important. Only time you probably won't see window casings is like more modern homes. But for these old style houses, you want some window casings around them. And all it is just kind of doubling the rectangle. Get the other side of the roof. Notice how there's that's the jumpiness. It's because I was filming this, a screen recording this while I was showing my class over a document camera. And the document camera couldn't figure out which camera I wanted to use on my phone. So that's why it's all jumpy. I apologize. Now to draw the fencing, you just draw posts that are equal apart, and then you draw like 2 lines and 2 lines to make those old style fences. And then I'm sorry I went so quick, but I drew a background, a little mountain range in the background. And then I drew 3 hills. You can pause it, rewind it, and then maybe slow it down if you need to. The tree, you kind of start out because the tree trunk is thicker at the bottom and then it gets skinnier. Here, I didn't really like how I drew those leaves, so I'm erasing it. Getting the leaves the right way is you want it like flowy. So you see how that's nice and flowy. But again, that's why we draw lightly, because if we have to erase, it doesn't mark up the paper. I'm going to draw on the other side a younger sapling, it looks like. Or maybe it's a different kind of tree. Again, with that camera, it's not sure what it wants to be. And I sped this up 300 times faster than it's supposed to be. So this project actually took me about 3 hours to complete from start to finish. We'll add some landscape stones in there. I'm a big fan of nice landscape lines. I'll draw a path. Some more landscape stones. There's what kind of I'm working towards. So we're going to add a little chapel up here. And some trees around it. Again, for some reason, a student asked me how to draw a duck. So here's how you draw a duck. It's an oval, a circle, and then the duck bill is the most important part. And that little tail feather in the back. Again, that bill, that's the hard part. I always think of like Daffy Duck. No, you don't know who that is. Look him up. He's funny. So I add a little detail, some bark on this tree, add some more fencing back here, make it small the further it goes back. Then I'm going to make myself a pond. Driving around here in the South, you'll see people have ponds in their yards. Usually they're giant ponds. My dad once made me dig him a pond. Took forever. That pond was not very big. It looked about this size. Actually, this one looks bigger. I'm gonna add some more details, especially to that door that I'm going to erase soon. So, yeah. So this is the first part. Everybody was always like, Mr. Ray, why do you always make us go over the our pencils with Sharpie? The reason why I do that is because the Sharpie is kind of like a finishing touch. It's the finalization of your drawing. Here I'm drawing a nice little barn. This farmhouse probably owns this barn. Draw an itty bitty fence. This barn has some sheep. Mr. Ray ever owned a farm. I'd went fainting goats. Just a whole flock of fainting goats. Wake up in the morning and go boo, make them fall over. It'd be hilarious. And this is where I just add little details because, again, it's pencil, so if I mess up, I can erase it. Just like this, I decided I want to change the wall. So instead of it being a fence, I want to make it into a stone wall. Because when you're driving out the country, sometimes you see these places that were built long, long ago, and like they got these big stone walls around the farm. So to draw these stone walls, you start with the big stones first, and then it's like Tetris, you just kind of fill in the little ones. Again, I apologize for the weirdness of the camera. All right, I just tossed that Sharpie on there like I was done, but guess what? I'm not, because that door needs to be fixed. So here, finally, I'm gonna make myself a nice symmetrical, equal-sized door. I feel better now. So this next part is I'm just going to go over my drawing with Sharpie. I always tell my students, make sure not to use like a sketchy line. Like when I draw my pencil, I do a sketchy line, but when I do Sharpie, it's a nice solid line. And if you look close, you'll see like there's kind of little pauses in my line sometimes. It's not a mistake. I do that on purpose. It's called implied line. It's something I learned in college. Illustrators do it all the time. Kind of just, it's an interesting look. Makes people double look at it. But your eye knows that that line is supposed to be finished, so it finishes it for you. But anyways, I'm going to quit talking for now and just let you watch. I'll jump back on here with something. So if you notice here, I'm using the Sharpie, thin tip Sharpie, to sit here and add a lot of details to this house. So if you look closely at the window frames, look at the posts on the patio. Here I'm adding some more details under the eaves of the roofs. I'm adding a lot more rocks. The windows I make look a little bit better. The door, add some decorations around. So the Sharpie, if you want to, you can even add more detail. You go in over in Sharpie. If you're not real confident in your drawing ability for this just yet, just outline what you already did, because you know it's right. But like this, yeah, the pencil is kind of like where I rough out my ideas, and then the Sharpie is where I kind of finalize them. That's the technique I like to use. All right, now it's time to paint. If you want to be like me, go online and buy a $120 watercolor paint set that you saw somebody use on YouTube. Be my guest, but I'm sure you could do this with just some Crayola watercolor paints. So here we go, jumping into it. I'm going to use a nice thick brush to kind of start laying out some big blocks of color. One of the more important things I learned in my years of studying art is art teachers don't like it when you use true colors. And what I mean by true colors is like when you paint the sun yellow, and then when you paint the grass green, when you paint the trees brown. And so it took me some time to learn how to like mix colors up. As you saw, I laid down, there's my yellow sun, I did some green, but I'm gonna go back in there and like add other colors to kind of add some thickness and some like different shades of colors. But I've found over the years, like using purple for shadow is a nice touch, or using the complementary color to create a shadow instead of black. So for example, if I wanted to add a shadow in the grass, I could use red to create a brownish shadow to cast. So those are kind of some tricks that you can use. Don't feel like you have to make everything the correct color that it is. If you study art for a while, you learn the good artists kind of learn how to use color and manipulate it to add the shadows and the volume and the texture that they're looking for. So another little trick I use is far, far away, the mountains, the sun's going down. Notice how I did the orange and then the red and faded that into the blue, because red and blue then make purple. So at the very top, you do some purple. And then the very far, far away mountains, I paint those in purple, bluish purple. Notice some of the tricks that I use. Also, I'm not afraid to admit it, I like Thomas Kincaid. I like how he makes his houses glowy. So I try to do that with mine too. I like an evening picture, a sunset picture, or a sunrise. The lights are just coming on. Just some of my favorite scenes. Those are my favorite times of day. So this is an example that I was talking about, not using true colors. So here I'm using some blue. I went over the trunk with the blue. I'm adding some purple into that tree to give it some shadow. Again, if you continue watching it, I appreciate it. You'll see I definitely start adding a lot more different colors. And we still haven't gotten to the magic of the house yet. That's an exciting part. So what I mean by the magic of the house is notice how the windows add the yellow, and you bring that yellow out past the actual window frames into the color of the house, and it'll give it that glow. I guess the lights are all on in the house. The sun's going down. Since the house is facing away from the sun, it would be facing darkness. So we turn the lights on. Added some shadow around the stones to give it more of a realistic look. And then I'm just going to fill in the rest of this, adding some shadow. To add shadow, watch how I do the fences. I think I'm about to do those soon. But with the fence posts in the background, what I do is I add a lot of water, a touch of color, and I just kind of pull in the direction of the fences. I'm still adding shadow to the house and adding some more shadow to these trees. But here comes the fence posts. So watch how I do this. You see a lot of water, just a touch of the color. And then you kind of make it go at the same angle that the sun would be shining. Just adding some darker colors, bring it out, finishing up our farm back there. And that's about it. So hopefully you appreciate this. I had a good time making it. It's one of my more favorite projects that I've done. If you have any questions in class, feel free to ask me. If you have any questions and you're in YouTube, I guess leave a comment. But here's the final product. As you can see, it's cute. It's as kids say, preppy. All right, take care now. Bye-bye.